It began with a sealed envelope delivered under extraordinary security to a private chamber inside Buckingham Palace. No announcement, no cameras, no warning. Yet within hours, whispers surged through royal corridors that King Charles had authorized a decree unlike anything seen in modern royal history. At its center stood Catherine, and if the rumors were true, the balance of influence inside the monarchy had shifted forever. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. At first, the reports seemed too extraordinary to believe. Buckingham Palace has always been a place where rumors travel faster than facts, where speculation often fills the silence left by official discretion. Yet this time, something felt different. The whispers were not coming from casual observers or distant commentators. According to growing accounts circulating within royal circles, the discussion began among individuals who rarely spoke openly about internal affairs. Their caution only made the story more compelling. According to palace insiders, a confidential meeting had allegedly taken place involving King Charles, Prince William, Catherine, and several senior constitutional advisors. No photographs emerged. No public record was released. Yet reports suggested the gathering was treated with a level of sensitivity rarely seen even by royal standards. Access was reportedly restricted. Communications were allegedly monitored with unusual care. Staff members who normally moved freely through certain areas suddenly found themselves facing limitations they could not explain. That atmosphere immediately attracted attention. The timing alone was enough to generate intense speculation. For months, questions surrounding Charles's health had quietly shaped discussions about the monarchy's future. Official reassurances continued, but so did concerns about continuity, responsibility, and long-term planning. Against that backdrop, rumors of a sealed decree prepared during an ongoing period of health challenges carried enormous significance. The deeper observers looked, the more intriguing the situation became. Around the same period, Catherine reportedly began appearing at a series of high-level engagements that drew particular interest from royal watchers. While her public role had been expanding steadily for years, some commentators suggested these appearances felt different. There appeared to be greater visibility, greater authority, greater independence. According to several observers, she was increasingly being viewed not merely as the future queen, but as a central figure in the monarchy's evolving structure. That perception fueled even more speculation. Within palace circles, courtiers allegedly began discussing the possibility that a new framework of royal representation was quietly taking shape. Nobody claimed to know the full details. Yet according to insiders, conversations repeatedly returned to the same question. Was the institution preparing for a significant redistribution of influence designed to strengthen the next generation of leadership? Meanwhile, media figures familiar with royal affairs reported noticing subtle but meaningful shifts. Scheduling patterns appeared different. Advisory meetings reportedly increased. Strategic discussions seemed increasingly focused on the future rather than the present. Individually, these developments might have appeared insignificant. Together, however, they painted a picture of an institution preparing for change, and with change comes uncertainty. Questions soon emerged regarding why such a decree would allegedly be necessary now. Was it connected to long-term planning? Was it designed to address immediate concerns? Or was it part of a broader effort to ensure continuity during a period of transition? Perhaps the most intriguing question of all involved influence itself. If authority was being redistributed behind the scenes, who stood to gain greater prominence, and who might quietly find their role diminished? The absence of clear answers only intensified the mystery. By now, The rumors had spread far beyond palace walls. Royal commentators debated possible explanations. Observers searched for clues. Every appearance, every meeting, and every carefully chosen statement seemed to generate fresh theories. Yet amid the speculation, one belief continued gaining momentum. Whatever had been discussed behind closed doors was likely far more significant than anyone initially imagined, because according to the most persistent whispers, the decree was not simply about administration or protocol. It was about shaping the future direction of the monarchy itself. But the decree itself was only part of the mystery. The real shock came when insiders began revealing what those carefully chosen words supposedly meant for the future of the crown. For decades, royal authority flowed through carefully balanced channels. Then, according to whispers circulating among palace observers, one document threatened to rewrite that entire arrangement overnight. As rumors surrounding the alleged decree continued spreading through royal circles, attention increasingly focused on a single question. What exactly had been written inside that sealed document? Very few people claimed to know. Even fewer were willing to discuss it publicly. Yet according to accounts emerging from palace insiders and well-connected commentators, the wording itself was reportedly what transformed an already intriguing story into something far more explosive. The speculation centered on Catherine. For years, the Princess of Wales had steadily built a reputation for discipline, restraint, and public confidence. Her role within the monarchy had expanded gradually, allowing her influence to grow without attracting the kind of controversy that often accompanies rapid change. Yet if the whispers were accurate, the alleged decree represented something entirely different. It was not merely recognition of existing responsibilities. It was, according to some accounts, an extraordinary endorsement of her future significance within the institution. Reports suggested that the document may have elevated Catherine's position as the monarchy's most trusted public representative. That possibility immediately captured public imagination. The monarchy has always relied on carefully balanced relationships, clearly defined roles, and long-standing traditions governing how influence is exercised. If one individual was being granted a more prominent position within that structure, the implications could extend far beyond ceremonial duties. Observers began wondering whether the decree reflected a temporary adjustment or part of a much larger strategy designed to shape the institution's future. According to palace whispers, even some senior aides were reportedly surprised by the scope of authority allegedly implied by the document. No official confirmation ever emerged, yet the persistence of the rumors fueled growing fascination. The more details remained hidden, the more attention the story attracted. Royal historians soon began drawing comparisons to earlier periods when monarchs quietly delegated influence to trusted figures during moments of transition. Throughout history, there have been occasions when formal authority remained unchanged, while practical leadership gradually shifted behind the scenes. Those comparisons only intensified speculation that something similar might now be taking place. Public fascination grew rapidly. Commentators debated whether the alleged decree signaled preparation for an eventual future reign. Some argued it reflected King Charles's confidence in Catherine's ability to represent the institution during a period of uncertainty. Others viewed it as evidence of a broader effort to strengthen the next generation of royal leadership before circumstances made such preparations unavoidable. Either way, one conclusion appeared increasingly common. Many observers interpreted the rumored move as a profound vote of confidence in Catherine's leadership style. Her popularity, consistency, and ability to navigate public expectations had long earned admiration from supporters of the monarchy. If the reports were true, some believed the decree represented formal recognition of qualities that had already become evident through years of public service. Yet admiration was only part of the story. As discussions intensified, another question emerged. How were other senior royals reacting behind closed doors? Royal households are complex institutions shaped by relationships, loyalties, traditions, and competing perspectives. Whenever influence shifts, even subtly, speculation inevitably follows. Courtiers reportedly exchanged theories. Commentators examined every public appearance for clues. Observers wondered whether everyone within the institution viewed the alleged changes through the same lens. The mystery deepened because no one seemed willing to speak openly. The silence surrounding the decree became almost as significant as the rumors themselves. Every unanswered question generated another wave of speculation. Every lack of clarification encouraged new theories. And with each passing day, the story appeared less like a simple administrative adjustment and more like the early stages of a significant transformation taking place behind palace walls. Yet while the public focused on Catherine's apparent rise, another story was unfolding inside palace walls. One involving old rivalries, bruised ambitions, and growing unease. Power rarely changes hands without consequences, and the atmosphere inside royal circles reportedly became noticeably colder the moment word of the decree began to spread. If the previous whispers focused on Catherine's apparent rise, the next wave of speculation focused on something even more sensitive: the reaction unfolding behind palace walls. According to royal observers, institutions as old and complex as the monarchy rarely experience shifts in influence without generating strong opinions. Loyalty, tradition, and personal relationships are deeply woven into the fabric of royal life. Whenever a new center of influence emerges, questions inevitably follow. And according to growing reports from within royal circles, those questions were becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. The alleged decree quickly became a source of division among courtiers. Some reportedly viewed the rumored changes as both logical and necessary. From their perspective, the monarchy was entering a new era requiring fresh approaches to public engagement and representation. They argued that Catherine's popularity, discipline, and ability to connect with the public made her uniquely suited to carry greater responsibility. To these supporters, the decree was not a disruption of tradition. It was an adaptation designed to strengthen the institution during a period of uncertainty. Others, however, viewed the situation differently. According to palace insiders, concerns began emerging about what some perceived as an unusual concentration of influence. Royal authority has traditionally been distributed across multiple households, advisors, and senior figures. That structure helps maintain balance and prevents any single individual from becoming too dominant within the institution. If the rumors surrounding the decree were accurate, some observers reportedly worried that long-established dynamics could be changing more rapidly than expected. As these competing views spread, old tensions allegedly began resurfacing. Royal households have always contained different perspectives regarding strategy, priorities, and the future direction of the monarchy. Most of those disagreements remain private. Yet according to whispers circulating among palace staff, the decree reignited conversations that had quietly existed for years. Supporters of modernization saw opportunity. Defenders of traditional arrangements expressed caution. Neither side appeared eager to back down. The atmosphere reportedly became increasingly complicated. What made the situation even more fascinating was Catherine's response, or rather, her lack of one. Despite growing speculation, increasing media attention, and endless commentary from royal observers, she remained publicly silent. No statement was issued. No effort was made to address the rumors directly. That silence only amplified public curiosity. Every appearance, every engagement, and every interaction was scrutinized for clues about what might be happening behind closed doors. Meanwhile, Reports suggested that William remained firmly supportive of the broader strategy allegedly taking shape. According to several commentators, the Prince of Wales viewed continuity as the institution's greatest priority. If greater responsibilities were indeed being entrusted to Catherine, many believed it reflected a shared vision between the future king and future queen regarding how the monarchy should evolve. Their partnership had long been viewed as one of the institution's greatest strengths. The rumors surrounding the decree only reinforced that perception. At the same time, senior royal households reportedly began reassessing their own positions within an increasingly uncertain landscape. If influence was shifting, even subtly, what would that mean for existing structures? How would responsibilities be distributed in the years ahead? Which figures would gain prominence, and which might find themselves operating in a very different environment than before? These questions reportedly dominated private conversations throughout royal circles. The deeper observers looked, the more they realized the controversy was no longer merely about a document. It was becoming a debate about the future architecture of royal influence itself. The alleged decree had become a symbol of something larger, a monarchy quietly preparing for the next chapter while still navigating the realities of the present. Every rumor, every leak, and every unanswered question seemed to point toward the same conclusion: significant changes might already be underway. Yet amid all the speculation surrounding power, influence, and institutional strategy, one question continued to stand above all others. Because if the rumors were true, if Charles had indeed chosen to elevate Catherine's role in such a dramatic way, then observers could not help asking the same thing. But none of those concerns compared to the deeper question troubling royal observers: why had Charles chosen Catherine above everyone else at this particular moment? Those closest to the institution understood something the public often overlooked. The monarchy survives not through popularity alone, but through trust earned over years of scrutiny. That reality, according to palace observers, may hold the key to understanding why the rumors surrounding the alleged decree continued gaining momentum. While public discussions often focus on headlines, personalities, and short-term controversies, the monarchy tends to think in decades rather than days. Every major decision is measured not only against present circumstances, but against its potential impact on future generations. And according to insiders, that long-term perspective may have shaped every conversation surrounding the mysterious document reportedly circulating behind palace walls. At the center of those discussions stood King Charles. According to royal commentators, the king has spent much of his reign navigating a period of extraordinary change. Public expectations continue evolving. The media landscape shifts constantly. Trust in institutions faces challenges from every direction. Against that backdrop, Charles's reported priority has allegedly remained consistent: preserving the long-term stability of the monarchy. That objective, according to observers, inevitably led attention toward Catherine. For years, the Princess of Wales has cultivated a reputation built on discipline, restraint, and duty. Unlike figures who dominate headlines through controversy or confrontation, Catherine's public image has largely been defined by consistency. She rarely appears rushed, rarely appears reactive, and rarely allows public pressure to alter her approach. Those qualities, according to palace insiders, have earned significant respect within royal circles. As the rumors surrounding the decree intensified, many commentators began pointing toward those characteristics as a possible explanation for the confidence reportedly being placed in her. Historical parallels soon emerged. Royal historians noted that throughout history, influential royal women have often played crucial roles during periods of uncertainty. Not always through formal authority, not always through public declarations, but through steadiness, reliability, and an ability to reassure both the institution and the public during difficult moments. Time and again, the monarchy has relied upon individuals capable of projecting stability when circumstances threaten to create uncertainty. According to several observers, Catherine increasingly appears to fit that tradition. Meanwhile, advisors reportedly emphasized another factor considered essential to the monarchy's survival: public confidence. Trust cannot simply be inherited. It must be reinforced repeatedly through actions, conduct, and consistency. Every public engagement, every challenge, and every period of scrutiny contributes to that process. In recent years, Catherine has faced intense attention while maintaining an image of composure that many supporters view as one of her greatest strengths. That reputation reportedly became even more significant during recent challenges facing the royal family. Periods of uncertainty often reveal qualities that routine circumstances never test. According to palace observers, Catherine's ability to remain steady under pressure strengthened perceptions that she could play a larger role in safeguarding institutional continuity. Whether those perceptions influenced the alleged decree remains unknown, yet the speculation surrounding her standing continued growing with each passing week. At the same time, public attention increasingly focused on William and Catherine as a partnership rather than as separate figures. Together, they are widely viewed by many supporters as the future face of the monarchy. Their roles appear interconnected, their responsibilities increasingly overlap, and their long-term significance to the institution seems difficult to overstate. As a result, the alleged decree was interpreted by some commentators not as an endorsement of one individual alone, but as part of a broader strategy designed to strengthen the next generation of leadership. The deeper observers looked, the more the rumored decision appeared tied to continuity rather than transformation. If the monarchy was indeed preparing for future challenges, then stability would remain its most valuable asset. According to many royal watchers, that objective may explain why confidence reportedly continued gravitating toward figures perceived as dependable, disciplined, and trusted. Yet every gain in influence inevitably creates new questions elsewhere. Because if confidence around Catherine was growing, then attention naturally shifted toward another issue entirely. In institutions built on hierarchy and influence, the rise of one figure often changes the position of others, and as speculation surrounding the decree intensified, observers increasingly wondered who might find themselves on the opposite side of that equation. And as confidence around Catherine appeared to grow, attention shifted toward those whose influence seemed destined to diminish. Every rise creates a shadow, and the reported decree cast one across nearly every corner of the royal household. As whispers surrounding the mysterious document continued spreading, attention gradually shifted away from the decree itself and toward its consequences. According to palace observers, institutions built on tradition rarely absorb major changes without creating ripples throughout their internal structure. Even the perception of shifting influence can alter relationships, expectations, and long-established assumptions. That was why, according to growing reports from royal circles, the atmosphere surrounding the monarchy appeared increasingly defined by anticipation. Various royal factions reportedly began reassessing their positions. Some viewed the alleged decree as evidence that a carefully planned transition was already underway. Others believed the rumors had been exaggerated beyond recognition. Yet regardless of individual opinion, one reality seemed difficult to ignore. The conversation inside royal circles was changing. Discussions that once focused on immediate priorities were increasingly centered on the future. Questions about long-term leadership, representation, and institutional continuity became impossible to avoid. According to insiders, senior staff members quietly began preparing for the possibility of procedural adjustments. Nothing dramatic, nothing publicly announced. Yet, observers noted growing awareness that responsibilities within the institution could evolve over time. The monarchy has always adapted to changing circumstances, and many believed this period might eventually be remembered as another chapter in that ongoing process. Meanwhile, public engagements increasingly seemed to reinforce a particular narrative. Whether intentional or coincidental, attention often gravitated toward William and Catherine. Their appearances attracted significant interest. Their partnership became a focal point for discussions about the monarchy's future. And with every new engagement, speculation intensified regarding what role they might ultimately play in shaping the next era of royal life. Royal commentators soon found themselves asking an increasingly provocative question. Had a new era already begun? Some argued that the answer was yes, not because any formal transition had occurred, but because public perception appeared to be evolving. Others urged caution, noting that rumors and symbolism should not be confused with constitutional reality. Yet even among skeptics, there was growing recognition that William and Catherine occupied an increasingly central place in discussions about the future of the crown. International media amplified those conversations. Reports from abroad examined every alleged detail surrounding the decree. Commentators debated its meaning. Analysts explored possible implications. What began as palace speculation gradually became a global story, attracting attention far beyond Britain. The mystery surrounding the document only increased public fascination. According to palace insiders, a growing sense of inevitability reportedly began taking hold. Not inevitability regarding a specific event, but inevitability regarding the broader direction of the institution. The monarchy, like every enduring institution, must eventually prepare for generational change. Whether the decree existed exactly as described mattered less to some observers than what the rumors themselves revealed about public expectations. The monarchy's future appeared more closely tied to Catherine than ever before. For years, Catherine cultivated an image defined not by dramatic headlines, but by consistency, and that reputation may have become her greatest source of strength. Unlike figures whose public identities were shaped by controversy, Catherine built her role through patience, discipline, and predictability. Supporters often point to her ability to remain steady during periods of uncertainty. According to royal observers, that consistency has become one of her most valuable assets. Strong public approval has reinforced perceptions of reliability, creating an image that many view as essential during moments of institutional transition. Senior commentators increasingly describe her as a bridge between tradition and modernization. She embodies continuity while appealing to contemporary expectations. That balance has become increasingly important as public trust emerges as a recurring theme in discussions surrounding the alleged decree. Trust, after all, remains one of the monarchy's most important foundations. Her partnership with William strengthens that perception even further. Together, they represent a vision of continuity that many supporters find reassuring. Comparisons have even emerged with previous generations of respected royal women who helped steady the institution during periods of uncertainty. As a result, the symbolic significance of Catherine's reportedly elevated role became impossible to ignore. The debate was no longer simply about influence. It was about what her rise appeared to represent: stability, continuity, preparation, the future itself. But the greatest impact of all was not political, ceremonial, or constitutional, it was symbolic. Yet even as the nation debated Catherine's growing importance, one final revelation threatened to redefine how history would remember this moment. The phrase that reportedly appeared within the decree was short, simple, and astonishingly powerful. And it became the center of every royal conversation. According to whispers circulating through royal circles, a single line hidden within the alleged document transformed what had already been an extraordinary story into something far larger. Nobody outside a very small circle claimed to have seen the decree directly. Yet that did not stop speculation from spreading. In fact, the absence of confirmation only intensified the fascination. The less people knew, the more determined they became to uncover the truth. At the heart of the mystery was an alleged reference describing Catherine as the crown's primary representative. Those few words, if they truly existed, carried enormous symbolic weight. Royal observers immediately began debating their significance. Did they represent a practical transfer of responsibility? Were they merely ceremonial language intended to acknowledge Catherine's growing role? Or were they something even more profound? A signal that the monarchy was quietly preparing for a future that many believed was arriving faster than expected. Constitutional experts soon entered the discussion. Some argued that language alone does not alter formal structures. The monarchy operates within well-established constitutional frameworks that cannot be rewritten through symbolism. Others countered that symbols have always played an essential role in royal life. Titles matter. Visibility matters. Representation matters. Throughout history, subtle shifts in language have often revealed larger changes already underway behind the scenes. That debate quickly spilled into the public sphere. Palace watchers interpreted the rumored wording as a reflection of trust. For years, Catherine had built a reputation defined by restraint, discipline, and reliability. She rarely sought attention, rarely generated controversy, and rarely allowed public pressure to distract from her responsibilities. To supporters, the alleged decree simply formalized what many already believed, that she had become one of the monarchy's most trusted figures. Others remained skeptical. Critics questioned whether the implications were being exaggerated by commentators eager for dramatic headlines. Without confirmation, they argued, the story remained speculation. Yet even those voices struggled to slow public fascination. Media organizations continued searching for evidence. Royal correspondents pursued sources. Commentators dissected every rumor. The mystery surrounding the document became almost as important as the document itself. And that mystery proved impossible to resist. Every unanswered question created another layer of intrigue. Every denial generated fresh theories. Every silence encouraged additional speculation. The alleged decree was no longer merely a story about Catherine or King Charles. It had evolved into a conversation about trust, leadership, continuity, and the future of the institution itself. As speculation reached its peak, the story became larger than Catherine, larger than Charles, and larger than any individual royal. Long after the headlines fade and the rumors settle, historians may look back on this alleged decree as the moment the monarchy quietly prepared itself for a new chapter. Whether the document ultimately proves as significant as many believe almost becomes secondary. Its symbolic impact is already being felt. In a period marked by uncertainty, the alleged decree represents continuity. It represents preparation, and above all, it represents an institution attempting to safeguard its future while navigating the realities of the present. Catherine has emerged as a central figure in that discussion, not because of dramatic declarations or public confrontations, but because of consistency. Her growing role reflects a broader theme running through every aspect of this story: the relationship between duty, trust, and leadership. According to many observers, Charles's reported decision appears rooted in concerns about long-term stability. William and Catherine increasingly represent the next generation of royal leadership, and the public continues viewing them through that lens. Their partnership symbolizes continuity during change, reassurance during uncertainty, and preparation for responsibilities that appear closer than ever before. Yet despite all the analysis, one fact remains unchanged. The truth surrounding the sealed document may remain hidden for years. Its exact contents may never be fully revealed. But its influence is already shaping conversations about the monarchy's future. Because in the House of Windsor, the most powerful changes rarely arrive with fanfare, they begin with a sealed decree, a whispered conversation, and the quiet realization that history has already started to move. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in next one.